What's up, everybody? This is Devin White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to week 2 of the LCC Gameday podcast. I'm here with your host, Billy. I'm here with my co-host, Eddie. And we're going to be talking about all of your week 2 matchups and also recapping what happened in week 1. So let's get started. Here we go. All right, so your results for week 1. Beg for G-Rag took the W, along with Give Me More and Pat Robot Leprechauns.
Shout out Minka Fitzpatrick.
For real. Well, man went off. All right, and we got Peanut Butter Cup taking home the dub, along with Afternoon Delights and Buck Your Mother. Isaac coming in the league 1-0. Welcome back.
Yep.
Right, we got 295. Don't cry over there. Hunter of Champions and Sandstorm Troopers all won their matches.
Dude, I thought Steel Curtain had that in the bag like on Sunday.
Yeah, me too. Me too. What a comeback. And Shuttlecocks, Peyton beat Zach, and Jiu-Jitsu Jesus came home with the win.
By the way, Barnyard showing us again, draft capital doesn't mean anything in this league. Picking up where Mufasa Moneymakers left off.
Don't let him hear that.
I know, dude. I had the second lowest scoring in the league in week 1, so I'm just stirring the pot.
There you go. All right. So here's how our LCC pick'em is going. Eddie is killing it. He's 10-2 on LCC pick'em, and I am 7-5.
Hey,
yeah.
Billy, what's my name? Say it.
Daddy's kicking ass right now.
That's right. I may suck at fantasy football, but I can pick the matchups, damn it.
You lost one of them that was yours.
Yeah. Yeah, if I would have won, it would have been 11-1, but we don't talk about that.
All right. So let's move on to our notables of the week. We had a lot of injuries coming out of week 1. Eddie, you want to take these over?
Sure, man. Najee Harris, his foot injury, is going to be questionable this week. I haven't read much about it. I don't know if it'll be like a short-term thing. TJ Watt broke his boob. Dak Prescott broke his thumb. Poor Cowboys. I don't care. Keenan Allen, doubtful. Jamal Adams, quadricep injury. I didn't even see that. But anyway.
Dude, it was bad. He was carted off.
Really? On Monday?
Yep.
Alvin Kamara, sore ribs, maybe limited. Oh, maybe I'll give Mark Ingram the start. Who knows?
I have to laugh. All right, moving on. It is time.
Did you lose?
You shut your mouth! Every year I set this league up, every year, and I never win! This was the year!
Afternoon delight.
All right, guys, time for game of the week, week 2. It's going to be Pat, Roebuck Leprechauns versus longtime friend, Afternoon Delights, and Jordan. It's going to be a good one to see. Both teams had a great week last week, so I'm really thrilled to see what's going to happen with them this week. I got our starting lineups right here. Eddie, go ahead and take it over, and we'll kind of chime in, see what we got going.
Yeah, I'll start with the quarterback matchup. So for Roebuck Leprechauns, he's got Tua. Did anybody? I'm sure you guys saw his pass that went halfway to the receiver. That was hilarious. Did you see that, Billy? There was
I missed that game.
There was a bunch of memes. It was like Tua looks like he's in midseason form. It was just a one-step drop out of the shotgun and then threw it straight into the ground. Don't know what happened. He still managed to put up 31. I think Tua will only get better from there. I know he's a walking meme, but I think he's going to continue to keep meshing with that offense. But got a tough matchup against Baltimore. I really like Baltimore's defense. So, and then Afternoon Delights has got Patrick Mahomes, who this weekend I think he wanted to show people that he's still Patrick Mahomes. We don't really talk about him as the best quarterback in the league anymore. Like 2 years ago, obviously he's the best quarterback in the league, but for some reason we don't talk about it a lot. And he just showed us last week. He's like, mother effers, I'm still Patrick Mahomes. I think he keeps it going against the Chargers. I like Patrick Mahomes this matchup. What about you?
I have to agree. Patrick Mahomes definitely proved to all of us that he does not need Tyreek Hill to succeed. And he is going up against Tua, that has the new Chiefs previous receiver in Tyreek Hill. So, I mean, I don't know how well the connection for Tua and Tyreek is working like it was for Pat and Tyreek. But, I mean, I have to take Patrick Mahomes in here because he was swinging dimes last week, man. He was throwing beautiful balls. So, I think I'm going to take Patrick as well. For running back, he's got Nick Chubb, on Afternoon Delight, who was boiling over that Carolina defense last week. He's put up over 100 yards rushing. They have been mixing in Kareem Hunt a little bit, but Kareem Hunt has been more involved in the passing game like we expected. Nick Chubb is a solid RB1 option. Going against Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, I didn't really get to see a whole lot of what Joe Mixon did last week. What kind of numbers did he put up last week, Eddie? Do you know?
He put up 34. He had 27 rush attempts, which was not surprising. The passing offense was off to a slow start with Joe Burrow throwing interceptions. So he had a lot of workload, and he put up 34 as expected.
I gotcha. I mean, I like both of these guys. With this matchup coming up, I know the Cowboys always have a really good defensive front. So Joe Mixon's going to have a tough time breaking through there. But Nick Chubb going against the Jets, I don't see much much getting in his way to have another big day. So I think I'm going to take Nick Chubbs in that matchup.
I swear, if you keep saying Chubbs, dude, it's Chubb.
Did I say Chubbs again?
Yeah.
Sorry, Afternoon Delight. Nick Chubb is going to murder your family. Anyways, keep going.
I agree overall that I think Nick Chubb has a better day. I mean, watching the Panthers game, I mean, he was super explosive. Obviously, he's Nick Chubb. I knew that, but I think he eats apart that Jets defense. But I will say, Leonard Fournette had a great week against Dallas's defense that I did not expect. So, with that being said, as talented as Joe Mixon is, he can still get it done. I think Joe Mixon still breaks that 30 number, but I think Nick Chubb beats him just by a little bit. I'd prefer Nick Chubb this week. Wide receivers, Afternoon Delight has DJ Moore. DJ Moore was underwhelming in week 1. He turned out to not be Baker's favorite target in that game. There's a lot of factors that went into that. Took a while for Panthers to get their groove. They didn't really have an identity, especially in the first half. But I expect DJ Moore to be shown a little bit more love against the Giants in week 2. And then Roebuck Leprechauns has got Cortland Sutton. He went for 22. He seemed to be during the game, from what I gathered, the number 3 option behind Javonte Williams first, and then he's probably tied for second with Jerry Jeudy. They both broke 20. I think Jerry Jeudy, did he break 30, Billy?
Oh yeah, he did. Jerry Jeudy is seems to be more of their deep threat target. Got that one touchdown for 67 yards. Other than that, they shared just about the same amount of targets overall.
Okay.
So Cortland Sutton is still not a bad option. I'd say he's a mid-grade wide receiver 2. Along with Jerry Jeudy in that offense, there's not a set number 1 yet for Russell Wilson. So I'm thinking, even though they have a good matchup against the Texans, I think I'm going to take,
Dude,
I don't know, man. That's tough.
I think for Denver, it's whichever one, Jerry Jeudy or Sutton, it's whichever one catches a touchdown. They're going to be the one that has like the better week.
You're right. I'm going to
So
take
it's kind
Sutton in that one because DJ Moore does not seem to be like the wide receiver one for Carolina either. So Robbie
No.
Anderson was showing out, and him and Baker Mayfield have built some kind of chemistry. I'm not sure when that happened, but I'm going to take Cortland Sutton in that matchup.
I think I'm going to lean Cortland Sutton as well.
All right. So we got a defensive line. We have Khalil Mack for Afternoon Delights versus Kwity Paye for Roebuck Leprechauns. I don't know a whole lot about Kwity Paye. I know he's defensive end for Indianapolis. Let me see. How did he do last week?
He
I
had
know
49.
Khalil Mack
He
had
had
a
2
pretty
sacks.
good. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, Khalil Mack is also going to be going after sacks. However, if you're going against the Jaguars' offensive line and a second-year quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, I think he'd be a little easier to take down. Not quite as mobile as Patrick Mahomes. Khalil Mack is going to have a rough day getting to Patrick Mahomes with the mobility that he offers. I think I'd take Kwity Paye in that matchup, honestly. Even though Khalil Mack is a game changer and he's got Joey Bosa on the other side, I'm going to take Kwity Paye in that matchup just because of the inexperienced offensive line of the Jaguars. I like that matchup a lot better.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm going with Paye in this one. Khalil Mack is the better player. Paye's got the much favorable matchup to like break out a huge number. Linebacker, Afternoon Delight. We'll just go with one of his because it looks like Jordan's going to be flexing a linebacker. We'll go with Devin Lloyd. He had a good showing in week 1, put up 38. Devin Lloyd's going against Indianapolis and that high-powered Matt Ryan offense that tied the Texans. And he's going up against Roebuck Leprechauns linebacker, which is Jordan Brooks. Put up 44. He's the guy over there now, in my opinion. He kind of took over the Bobby Wagner role of taking all those tackles. And so I'm a huge on Jordan Brooks. And I like the matchup against a high-running team in San Francisco. So I really like Jordan Brooks in this matchup.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Jordan Brooks is a beast, man. He's gonna do really well this year. Especially like you said with that 49ers offense coming right at him. He's gonna be in the middle to disrupt just about anything that comes that way. Devin Lloyd, I know he took on a new role this year in Jacksonville. He's up there with Miles Jack. Miles Jack and him share a lot of tackles, and that's one thing that kind of scares me about Devin Lloyd. He just doesn't get the volume that he deserves, honestly. Still a good player, but I'm going to take Jordan Brooks in that one. All right, safety. We got, just say, Von Bell.
Hey, Billy, real quick, BP. I don't
Yeah.
think there's any safeties in this matchup that are any good, right? None of these guys put up big numbers in week 1, so we really don't have to talk about it.
He's probably referring to Minka Fitzpatrick putting up 93 last week. Was it 93? Yeah.
Yeah, it was 93. We
Yeah.
got to look up the record books. Like I'm sure Pat would know like where that is in the record books.
It's probably top 5, honestly.
Because Chandler Jones last year was 94 in week 1. I'm pretty sure.
Well, Jamal Adams put up 98 for Peyton 2 or 3 years ago. I know that.
Yeah, it's got to be up there though. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Got to be top 5. Anyways, dude, it's Minka Fitzpatrick. The man is a beast. Love his matchup with the Patriots. I mean, he's going to rack up a lot of tackles. Mac Jones, the communication with Mac Jones and his receivers is not the greatest in the world. He's been making mistakes out there. The Patriots are, or at least tend to be, a more run-heavy football team in the previous years. I could see Minka putting up another huge day against the Patriots. Let's see, is it Von Bell? Von Bell against the Cowboys. Depending on if Dak Prescott plays, this may be a good chance for him to get a big game as well. Well, Dak Prescott's not going to play, of course, but depending on who they're starting at quarterback, of course, there's opportunities for interceptions anytime a backup is coming into the game to take over. So Von Bell may also have another chance for a big day. But, of course, I'm going to have to lean Minka in this one. I mean, who wouldn't? What do you think?
I think these two matchups are very similar, and I'm kind of conflicted. So the Patriots are going to be very run heavy, and they suck so bad. I don't know if the runs are going to get to the secondary for Minka to have a bunch of tackles. And then for Von Bell, Dallas is going to be running the ball because they have a backup quarterback, which hopefully bodes well for me and Zeke because I'm not happy about my running back situation. But hopefully Zeke has a good week with the backup in. But with that being said, I think both of them are going to be lower numbers than expected, unless of course the two the two quarterbacks, one for the Patriots and whoever I think is going to be Rush that starts in Dallas, if they are both viable for making mistakes. So I think either one of them could run into a pick, but I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. I'm going to have to lean Minka just because of the kind of player he is. He's going to stick his nose in to all the inside runs. He's going to try and get in there. So I'm going to lean Minka on that matchup, but I don't think either of them has a huge day. I may backfire on me, but
Okay. I could see that happening. That was definitely something realistic. So for flex, we're running Pat's got Jalen Petrie.
the Petri dish.
And Jordan is Isaiah Simmons. So I like both of these flex options. Both of them are pretty safe flex options. I mean, with Isaiah Simmons, you're going to get, your solid 20 to 25 every matchup. He's just not the consistent big guy, consistent big number guy that you're wanting. Doesn't always pile up a ton of tackles. We've seen in the past that his tackling is actually not the best form. Even though Arizona decides to put him in that position where he's at, I think a lot of the tackles actually come from the backfield of Arizona with Jalen Thompson and Buda Baker, just because their front line isn't the best in the world. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Jalen Petrie on this one. For one thing, I have he has a matchup with Broncos, so that's probably gonna be even better. I do have a soft spot for flexing safeties because I know they're always going to rack up the tackles. With the scoring changes this year, I would even say it'd be safe to flex a wide receiver. And I'd honestly flex any position this year. But flexing safety is never a bad thing, and Jalen Petrie has a good matchup with the Broncos. So I'm going to take Jalen Petrie on that one.
I agree. I like Jalen Petrie's matchup, and yeah. With that being said, who's your pick, and do you want to give a score for the game of the week, or no? Hey Billy, your mic is muted. Pull your mic down.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. There we go.
All right.
Sorry, folks.
All right. So for this one, I think I'm going to take Pat. Rebecca Leprechaun's lineup is looking a little more favorable this week. I mean, other than your quarterback, I think they have the chance to win every matchup this week. So I'm going to have to take Pat in this one. I think it's going to be close, though. I'm not going to say Jordan's going down without a fight. If I had to predict a score, I'm going to say 255 to 235.
Okay. By the way, shout out LCC After Dark. They last week in their week 1 podcast, they started giving scores for the game of the week, and I thought that was a good idea for us to do as well. So shout out LCC After Dark. But I think check it out on Spotify. I think I'm going to go Roebuck Leprechauns as well.
Robot Leprechauns.
Fucking words, dude. Holy. I think I'm going to go Roebuck Leprechauns 247 to 218. Good effort by Jordan, but just won't get it done.
Yeah, that's not a bad prediction there. That's going to be pretty close as well. All right. Are we ready to move on to the rest of the game of the week, or rest of the week 2 matchups?
Yeah.
All right. Some good matchups coming up for week 2. We've already talked about the first one, so of course we're not going to go over that one. But for week 2, we are looking at Eastside Brawlers and Step Bros Fantasy Company. So for this matchup, we have some pretty questionable options here at quarterback. Of course, we got Marcus Mariota for Atlanta playing for Step Bros. And he's going against Matt Ryan, a pretty dependable option. I think I'm going to go with Matt Ryan in that one. Running back, I got David Montgomery versus Rashad Penny. After the week David Montgomery had last week, I'm going to go David Montgomery on that one just because Chicago had a baller game last week. Wide receiver, Deebo Samuel versus Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Deebo has a bounce back week. I think I'm going to go with Deebo on that one. I like his matchup against Seattle. Max Crosby versus Brian Burns. I have to go with my man Brian Burns, who's of course going to be your boom bust guy, but I think he's going to rack up maybe a sack this week against the Giants. See, linebacker, we have Tay Crowder on Step Bros versus CJ Mosley. Got to take CJ Mosley in this one, especially against Cleveland with Jacoby Brissett starting. And they're going to, of course, hand the ball off to Nick Chubb a lot. So, going to rack up some tackles there. So safety, Adrian Amos for Step Bros versus Javon Holland. I think in that one I'm going to take Adrian Amos. I know last week he had a pretty good week. Javon Holland, he did pretty good last week, didn't he? Let me see.
He had
Javon
30.
Holland put up, 30. So, I mean, I'll still take Adrian Amos just because.
At the office.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Adrian Amos in that one still. Just because I think I don't know. I don't know how that one's going to play out, but I have a gut feeling of Adrian Amos on that one. And with my flex position, Step Bros is going Shaq Thompson, and Eastside is going AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown is an amazing flex option this year. I mean, after what I saw in week 1, dude, him and Jalen Hurts, they have a connection, and it's obvious to see that he's going to be the number 1 guy. So I'm honestly going to take – I like Shaq Thompson a lot. Carolina fan, of course, but I'm going to take A.J. Brown in that flex. So all in all, I'm going to go east side in this one. What you think?
I'm going to give you a classic Lee Corso, not so fast on the A.J. Brown hype. They were playing Detroit, and next week they are playing Minnesota, who made Aaron Rodgers' team look like the worst offense in the league. So I think A.J. Brown, I think he doesn't have the 44 week he had in week 1, but with that being said, I'm going Eastside Brawlers in a blowout.
Gotcha. Okay. So we got Eastside Brawlers for both of those. All right. So next we got Detroit Bad Boys versus the third leg. So Billy surprised us last week and put up a pretty good game. No offense, Billy, but we weren't expecting that. Jalen Hurts versus Jared Goff. I have to pick Jalen Hurts on that one. His mobility, of course, is going to be a lot better than Jared Goff's, and his connection we just talked about with A.J. Brown is looking pretty good. So I'm liking Jalen Hurts in that matchup. Alvin Kamara, which had a pretty decent week last week, versus Miles Sanders, who also did pretty good. I think I'm actually going to take Miles Sanders in this one. I'm liking Tampa Bay's defense is tough, especially in a first division game. So Alvin Kamara is going to struggle on that one. I'm going to take Miles Sanders.
And Alvin Kamara may be limited in snaps as well.
That is very true. Very true. Yep.
Especially early in the year.
Yep. Those sore ribs, right?
Yep.
All right. Amari Cooper versus Tyreek Hill for the third leg. I'm going to take Tyreek Hill in that one. Amari Cooper wasn't targeted hardly at all last week, which was sad to see on his new team. But I'm going to take Tyreek Hill in that one. Defensive end, we have Hassan Reddick versus Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones, the biggest boomer bust guy. I'm going to take Hassan Reddick just because I know that he's going to rack up some tackles and get us some points. Chandler Jones, you just never know. All right, linebacker. Third leg has got Micah Parsons versus Patrick Queen for Detroit Bad Boys. I got to take Micah Parsons in that one. Micah Parsons is a stud, as we all know. All right, linebacker. That's flex. Safety, Micah Hyde for Detroit Bad Boys versus Kareem Jackson for the third leg. I'm going to take Micah Hyde in that one. The Bills' defensive backs have always been really good at finding picks. Of course, him and Jordan Poyer were tied for most picks of the season last year. They're both on the same team. Other than Trayvon Diggs, I think they both came in second and third. So I'm taking Micah Hyde in that one just because I feel there's a bigger chance of them getting an interception. And for flex, we got a linebacker for the third leg, Jerome Baker. First linebacker for Detroit Bad Boys, Devin Bush. That one I'm not so sure about. I'm thinking I'm going to lean more towards Devin Bush in that one. Jerome Baker is the number one guy in Miami, and Devin Bush is the number one guy in Pittsburgh as far as the linebacker position, but neither one of those are really solid flex options, in my opinion. I think they're both really inconsistent. I just like Devin Bush's matchup a little better because I think New England's going to be more heavily running up the middle based versus Jerome Baker's going to have to fight with Lamar Jackson and figure out where he's going with it. So, all in all, I'm going to take the third leg in this one. I think Billy's going to put up a pretty good fight, but it's got to come down to the third leg because he's got the solid lineup.
Yeah, I am going to agree. I'm going to take the third leg. I think it's closer than some people think this week. And if you look at the projections, whoever creates these projections agrees with me. It's only a 13-point difference right now. I think it'll probably be like a 20-point game, but I think it's competitive. But I think third leg wins.
Yeah, totally agree. All right. You want to take these next three?
I will. All right. First game, we got Guardians of the Gridiron versus Beg for G-Reg. Two fire fantasy names. Love both of those. Both teams are 1-0, I believe. This is a division matchup. It's a big one early in the season. So for quarterback, Guardians of the Gridiron, Peyton. He's got Baker Mayfield going up against the Giants. Billy's got Josh Allen. I'm taking Josh Allen in this matchup because he's fucking Josh Allen. But Baker Mayfield, I think, gets over 30 again. I don't know if it's a homer thing, but I really think he's going to play well this year. I think he's going to average over 30. So Baker will get it done. He'll probably get. I think he gets 35 this week. At running back, Billy's got Jonathan Taylor, and Peyton's got Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones only had 5 rush attempts in week 1. He did get a couple receptions, so he was included in the reception game, but 5 carries against Minnesota. Billy, do you know how to explain that? He wasn't hurt, was he? They just
A.J. Dillon. That's how you explain it.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because I watched that game because I was watching my quarterback Kirk Cousins try to bring me back from a 100-point deficit. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go Jonathan Taylor.
How did that work out for you?
Not great. So then at wide receiver, BP's got Jerry Jeudy, scored a touchdown in his debut with Russell Wilson. And then Guardians of Gridiron's got Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs went off in week 1. He's going to go off in week 2. I like Stephon Diggs. He's going up against the Tennessee secondary, which I really, really like the Tennessee secondary. But I still think Stephon Diggs outperforms Jerry Jeudy this week.
He's got Josh Allen throwing to him. He's fine.
Yeah, exactly. All right, defensive end. Billy is choosing to start Sam Hubbard again. Weird. And Peyton is starting Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa's got a good matchup, I believe, against Seattle. So I like Nick Bosa in that matchup. And then at linebacker, we got Bobby Okereke or Okereke. Okereke is not right, apparently.
I still haven't figured it out.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody help us out. Because on After Dark, they say Okereke. And so I just,
That may be right. I'm not sure.
I can't say that HIPAA laws, but we have a similar issue at work where I work. But anyway, Bobby Okereke going up against Jacksonville, and then Peyton's got Zach Cunningham going up against Buffalo. Golly, this is a toss-up for me. You know what? I'm going to go Okereke in that matchup by barely. I think they're very, very solidly even in this matchup. And then at safety, Buda Baker for BP and Kevin Byard. Like I said, I love Kevin Byard and I love the Tennessee secondary. I think they rack up some tackles. And then Josh Allen, as we know, he's going to score 50, but he also has a chance to throw a pick just because he's a gunslinger, man. So I like Kevin Byard over Buda Baker. I'm sorry, Billy. I like that matchup for Kevin Byard this week. But I think it's close. I think they both could put up 40. And then flex, BP's got Xavier McKinney. How did he do last week? Looks like 21. I still think he's going to be the guy that gets a majority of the tackles, so I still like that start.
I'm hoping he'll have a bounce back week. I think he's going to do pretty good. I mean,
especially against Carolina.
Yeah, that's part of my reasoning.
Yep, and then Fred Warner of Guardians of the Gridiron. 2 solid flexes. They'll get you 25 to 30 this week, I think. With that being said, I think Peyton puts up a strong fight. I just think Jonathan Taylor potentially having 50 again versus Aaron Jones, who may not sniff 15. I'm just going to go BP in this matchup.
Yeah, I don't ever like choosing myself, but I'm in the same exact boat. Aaron Jones scares the hell out of me. So
they need to trade him. Trade him for a wide receiver. Give Aaron another option.
Yeah, I'm gonna take myself in this one as well. I like Peyton's team a lot. That is his one weakness that I think might kill him. I know that running back isn't as important this year, but I think I'm gonna have to take myself in this one.
All right, moving on to Burrow's body count versus Buck Your Mother. Isaac undefeated in this league. Is that correct?
Yes.
Isaac's got Jameis Winston at quarterback. He's got some kind of back issue, but he's going to start. And then Burrow's body count's got Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's going to bounce back against Dallas. He's going to eat them apart. Dallas is going to go 0-2. I hate the Cowboys. I'm taking Joe Burrow. And then Zach, for Burrow's body count, has James Conner at running back going up against that Raiders defense. James Conner only had 10 rush attempts in week 1. Just 10 attempts, but he got into the end zone, which is why he got 24, which is a solid number. He's going up against Chase Edmonds for Buck Your Mother. Chase Edmonds got 12 rush attempts, so neither of these guys are had a huge workload in week 1. These are former teammates going against each other. God, I don't like Chase Edmonds' matchup against Baltimore, so I'm going to lean James Conner. Wide receiver, Burrow's body count's got Jamar Chase. Buck Your Mother's got Brandon Cooks. I'm going Jamar Chase. The stack is going to show out this week.
The stack for the win.
Stack. Defensive end, Gregory Rousseau for Buffalo, for Zach. And then for Isaac, Buck Your Mother has Joey Bosa. I'm going to go Joey Bosa because of his last name. At linebacker, Burrow's body count has Kamu for Houston. And Buck Your Mother has Levante David. Devin White seemed to completely prove that he is that guy still last week. I think he continues to do that. I think like last year Devin White had an up and down year. I think he's consistent this year. I think Levante Smith plays second fiddle to him all year. So I'm going to take
Levante David.
Yeah, what did I say?
Levante Smith.
Sorry. Levante David. And then have you seen this? Did he do this last week? Zach starting Kenny Moore. Did he start him last week?
Yep.
Let's go. Kenny Moore got over 30 last week. He's going to do it again. He breaks Pat's no cornerback rule. And then Buck Your Mother also starting a cornerback in L'Jarius Sneed. He had 51. He went off. Did he have a pick in week 1?
L'Jarius Sneed. Hang on, I'll tell you. Keep going.
I like Kenny Moore's matchup. Pretty boy Trevor Lawrence is going to throw one into his lap. So with that being said, I really like Burrow's body count in this one. I think it's going to be close. Projections have it being a 2-point game. I really, really, really disagree. I think Burrow's body count wins by like 20, 25.
Yeah, I have to agree there. I like Zach's team a lot. I think he's got a really good chance. I'm kind of scared of his team this year. Yeah, I mean, he's solid everywhere. He is solid everywhere. He's done a great job putting this team together. So I'm going to give this one to Zach. Buck Your Mother is not too far behind, honestly, for the setup that he was given. Not doing too bad. Not doing too bad, Isaac. Keep up the good work. But I'm taking Zach in this one.
All right, and moving on to Sandstorm Troopers versus the Spurs. All right, so a quarterback, Sandstorm Troopers got the GOAT, Tom Brady. The Spurs has pretty boy Trevor Lawrence. Let's see. I am not high on Trevor Lawrence. I'm just not. I'm going to lean Tom Brady in that matchup. Then we got at running back, Austin for Sandstorm Troopers has Javonte Williams, who is the wide receiver 1 in Denver, apparently. He's going to continue. I think he led the team in targets, had 12 targets, 11 receptions. So I think Javonte Williams, I like him in that matchup a lot, going up against Christian McCaffrey, the greatest fantasy player of all time. If they use him like they used to use him, he'll have 50. If they even use him a little bit more than they did in week 1, I got to take Christian McCaffrey in that matchup. Stay tuned for the flex because I got something surprising to say about the flex matchup. But at wide receiver, the Spurs has got Mike Evans. He's questionable. Why is he questionable? He has a calf issue. He'll probably play. Michael Pittman also questionable. He has a quad injury. He'll probably play. I like Mike Evans. No reason. I like Mike Evans in that matchup. Defensive end, DeForest Buckner for the Spurs. He's questionable. Golly, what's going on here? DeForest Buckner did not practice Wednesday. Historically, if they don't practice Thursday, they may not play. But we should keep an eye on that. He does have Montez Sweat as a backup option, he's solid. Sandstorm Troopers has Leonard Williams. He had 5 tackles in week 1. Golly, I think he'll have a chance to get to Baker, as we saw in week 1. That Carolina offensive line does not look great. So I like Leonard Williams in that matchup.
All the
linebacker,
hard work they put into that line.
I know. It's so sad. Dude, I don't even want to talk about the Panthers, okay? That's not what we're not doing that. Asia, by the way, for people who don't know Asia, that's my wife. She was heated. Okay, pause the podcast. She was not happy with the Panthers, like just giving up, or not giving up, but just accepting the field goal and then giving the Browns a minute. I was like, and in the moment, I was telling her like, they're trying to get rid of their timeouts. It's okay, but in hindsight, she was so right. I don't know, but she was mad. She was really mad.
I can see her getting really heated about it.
The Spurs have Eric Kendricks. I don't know where the hell he was in week 1. I expect him to ball out against Philadelphia. Sandstorm Troopers has Devin White. Again, ball out. I'm taking Devin White. At safety, the Spurs has Tyrann Mathieu. How did he do in week 1? He had 37 against Atlanta. I almost picked him up. I almost traded Joe Mixon for him in the offseason. Not that wasn't the only part of the trade, but he was included in it. I actually did accept a trade for him, and then it got countered. But I really do think he's going to play well this year, and he's going up against Jordan Whitehead. He's questionable. Golly, he had 26.
Everyone's falling apart.
I'm taking Tyrann Mathieu. Now for the flex. I'm going to say it. This is your hot take, way too early hot take. I'm out on Derrick Henry. I think his career, this is where he starts to decline. That's my hot take. Now, with that being said, Sandstorm
Was it
Troopers.
because of that hit?
No, it's just it's because of at some point the overuse has got to get to you, even if you're a superhuman like Derrick Henry. I just think they use him way too much. He's going to get hurt again, or he's not going to be the same guy. Like, I just feel like when I watched the Tennessee game, which I did, hashtag shout out NFL Sunday Ticket. When I was watching that game, I was like, he does not look immovable like he used to. Maybe it's just week one. Maybe I'm overreacting. I just think Derrick Henry's not going to be the number one running back at the end of the year. That's my hot take. But with that being said, Sandstorm Troopers has Jeremy Chin as their flex at safety. I'm taking Jeremy Chin. I got Sandstorm Troopers taking this.
Wow. Those are a lot of bold predictions here. I have to agree. Honestly, Cameron's team never performs like it should in the beginning of the year. Just wait till the damn postseason. I'm taking Sandstorm Troopers as well, man. I like his matchups a lot better, and I think his defense, for one thing, is showing out. I think I'm going to take Sandstorm Troopers in this one. I'm with you.
Yep. All right. Let's move on.
All right. So the next matchup I got is Peanut Butter Cup versus Jiu-Jitsu Jesus. So Peanut Butter Cup, another one of those teams last week that blew our minds. His team went off. He's got Lamar Jackson at quarterback versus Justin Fields at quarterback for Jiu-Jitsu Jesus. Stupid if I don't take Lamar Jackson in this. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Dalvin Cook versus Kareem Hunt. Dalvin Cook is the RB1 in Minnesota. Kareem Hunt is your target share guy, RB2 in Cleveland. I'm taking Dalvin Cook in this one. Even though he got minimal touches last week, I mean, he looked pretty good. So I think I'm going to give this one to Dalvin Cook. Wide receiver, we got Cooper Kupp versus Deontay Johnson. Even though Deontay Johnson had an amazing one-hand snag last week, it's Cooper Kupp. Come on. So I'm taking Cooper Kupp in that one. Defensive line, we got Aaron Donald. Great option. Versus Myles Garrett. Another great option. So Myles Garrett showed last week that he can get to the quarterback, but he also showed that against the Panthers. Aaron Donald showed last week that he can also put up some pretty good numbers. Got 20 last week. So, I mean, for a defensive lineman, I think I got to take Myles Garrett, honestly. I mean, Aaron Donald's pretty good as a player, but in fantasy-wise, Myles Garrett's more likely to get to the quarterback, in my opinion, especially against the Jets. All right, linebacker, we got Logan Wilson for Peanut Butter Cup versus Kaiser White. So this is the one I think I'm going to take Kaiser White in. I like Kaiser White a lot, actually. I know last year he had a great season. And Logan Wilson is not a bad option either. I think Kaiser White's going to have a pretty good bounce-back week, too. I got to take Kaiser White in that linebacker matchup. For defensive back, we got safety Jonathan Abram for Jiu-Jitsu Jesus and Jordan Poyer for Peanut Butter Cup. I explained my love for the Buffalo backfield earlier. Their defensive backs are amazing. Jordan Poyer is going to rock against Tennessee. I have to get Jordan Poyer in this one. For flex, we got Saquon Barkley for Peanut Butter Cup, who went off last week, versus Alex Singleton, linebacker for Denver. He had a pretty good week last week as well. Saquon Barkley was just a monster, and I think he's actually going to have a bounce-back year. And I hate to say that he's going to do pretty good against Carolina, but I got to go Saquon in this one. All in all, Peanut Butter Cup takes this one by a landslide, in my opinion.
I agree. Peanut Butter Cup. Put me down. We've agreed on everything so far. It's just not good.
Yeah. All right, next. You don't get to take yourself in this next one, by the way, because you did last week and it didn't work out. Next, we got Two Girls, One Cup versus Lebetard Lobos, Alex's
I'm
team.
taking 2 girls, 1 cup.
Shut your mouth. All right, so we got quarterback matchup: Kirk Cousins versus Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's going against Atlanta. He had a really, really rough week last week, even though he found Cooper Kupp for a lot of targets. Threw some terrible balls. He's just not himself. He's got a Sunday afternoon game this week against Atlanta. I think he's going to have a bounce back week. I like Kirk Cousins because him and Justin Jefferson obviously got something going on. Maybe between the sheets, who knows? But I think I like Matthew Stafford in this matchup. I'm going to lean Matthew Stafford in that one. Running back Ezekiel Elliott always scares the hell out of me. Antonio Gibson had a great week last week. I think I got to lean Antonio Gibson in that one. Going against Detroit, should carve them to pieces. Wide receiver Rashad Bateman versus Allen Robinson. Now, good God, that is a tough one. Rashad Bateman had a way better week last week than Allen Robinson, but Allen Robinson should do better. All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say since I'm expecting Matthew Stafford to have a better week, I'm gonna give Allen Robinson the benefit of the doubt and let him go with a better week. So I'm taking Allen in that one. Defensive line, we got Ashawn Robinson for two girls, and then we got Daniel Hunter. I'm really big on Daniel Hunter. He hasn't done the best in recent games, but I know he has been an animal in the past, so I'm going to take Daniel Hunter in that one. Linebacker, we got, help me out with this one, Owusu Koromoa.
His
that right?
name's Jeremiah.
All right, we got Jeremiah from Webitar versus Cole Holcomb. I think I'm going to take Cole Holcomb in this one. I mean, Cole Holcomb's been pretty solid. The last week he didn't show it, but he's going against Detroit this week. I think he's going to have an opportunity to fly around and find some tackles, find himself from last year. Safety, we got Amani Hooker versus Grant Delpit. Take Amani Hooker in that one. Amani Hooker had a pretty good week last week. Flex, we got Mike Edwards versus Tremaine Edmonds. I'm going to take Mike Edwards in that one. Tremaine Edmonds he's a great player. He's a very good, impactful player. He hasn't been the best for fantasy. He had a pretty decent week. Last week he had 10 tackles, but I mean, in the past, he just hasn't been there as far as a fantasy player. And Mike Edwards is in a better position to get more tackles, so I got to take Mike Edwards going against New Orleans. All in all, it's pretty evenly matched up, I think. As far as offense goes, your Lebetard Lobos got the better offensive team. As far as defense goes, Tua Girls has the better defensive team. I got to lean Tua Girls in this one, just by margin, though. Say Eddie has a bounce back week. Let's go a 10-point margin. It's going to be really close. What you got?
I already said I'm winning.
All right. On to
Also,
the next.
I will say just real quick, I'm gonna win. All right, we can move on.
On to the next. We have Protect the Booty versus the Barnyard. So we got Derek Carr at quarterback for Protect the Booty versus Russell Wilson for the Barnyard. So both of these guys had a pretty eye-opening week last week. Russell Wilson on a new team, of course. Derek Carr with some new targets. Pretty evenly matched, I think. Derek Carr, fantasy-wise, he put up 28. Russell Wilson did a little better, I believe. I think I'm going to take Russell Wilson in this one just because, he put up 300 yards, threw a couple touchdowns, and he's got a better matchup. Running back, Rex Burkhead versus Devin Singletary. I'm gonna take Devin Singletary in that one, even though he's sharing carries with Zach Moss. Rex Burkhead is just on the border of I don't know. He's just such a big question mark. Wide receiver. So Barnyard's got Keenan Allen in right now, but he's going to be out. So he's going to be putting in CD Lamb, I'm guessing. And CD Lamb does not have a. We got a new quarterback, so I don't know what's going to happen there. And Protect the Booty has Jahan Dotson. Who is that? Never even heard of him. Scores twice in NFL debut. Okay, must be a rookie. Okay, all right. I'll get on the Dotson train. We'll take Dotson in that one. Defensive line, we got Trey Hendrickson for the Barnyard versus Cam Jordan. As far as matchups go, I think I'm gonna like Trey Hendrickson just because Dallas's offensive line is crumbling. They've had so many injuries, and they got a new quarterback.
Hey, you have to assume that the Barnyard's going to switch out CD Lamb for Keenan Allen before the game starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I would hope so.
All right. Sorry, just keep going.
You're good. He also has to switch out his safety, which we'll go over in a second. Bobby Wagner versus Drew Tranquil. I'm taking Bobby. I'm sorry. Jamal Adams, which is out, he's going to have to switch out for. He gets to start in Derwin James, I'm guessing, at safety. So that way he can flex someone else.
He probably would have to flex Quay Walker if he's smart and then put CD Lamb in for Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Or either flex Brees Hall for some reason. He may get some more touches. But yeah, one of those two. I'm going to say, we'll say Quay Walker's his flex. Derwin James is going to be his starting safety. With that being said, Protect the Booty is starting as Richie Grant for Atlanta. I'm going to take Derwin James 10 out of 10 days a week, even though there's 7 days in a week. Flex, we're going to go Quay Walker for Barnyard versus Xavier Woods. I'm liking Xavier Woods in that one, especially against the Giants. I think he's going to have a pretty good game. Last week he did pretty good, didn't he? Xavier Woods. Let's see. He's loading. Yeah, 37. That's what I thought. Yeah, so all in all, I'm going to take the Barnyard in this one. I think he's going to have a bounce back week. Yeah, I like him by 20. What you got?
I got Protect the Booty in this one.
Okay, so this is the first time we part ways.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust CD Lamb. Well, I trust CD Lamb. I don't trust the quarterback throwing to him if he starts him. So, yeah, Devin Singletary may not put up huge numbers. I'm going to have to go Protect the Booty.
Okay, all right.
Defend my conference.
I hear you. All right, you get these next three, and we'll keep it rolling.
All right. So, Hunter of Champions versus Mr. 295. Hunter of Champions has Justin Herbert going up against Kansas City, and then Mr. 295 has Trey Lance. Trey Lance, I have no clue how he's going to do. Hopefully, he's not playing in a hurricane. I'm going to go Justin Herbert. Hunter of Champions. Najee Harris says he'll play in week 2, so he's starting Najee Harris against Austin Eckler. I think Austin Eckler bounces back from his 17. I'm going to lean a healthy Austin Eckler against Kansas City. Wide receiver, Mr. 295's he's starting Gabriel Davis after Gabriel Davis scored a touchdown and had 29 in week 1. He decided to bench T. Higgins, who's questionable. Good decision, Mr. 295. Hunter of Champions has Devontae Adams. I'm going Devontae Adams. Doesn't matter who you throw in there. Christian Wilkins, solid defensive end. He's going to get you your 20 to 30 for Mr. 295. Hunter of Champions has Trayvon Walker for Jacksonville. He had a sack and an INT. He's playing Indianapolis. Christian Wilkins has got Baltimore. I'm going Trayvon Walker because Baltimore, Lamar Jackson is slippery. Hunter of Champions has Javondre Campbell against Chicago. He had 32 like I expected last week. He's going to be your solid 30-point guy. Mr. 295's got Jordan Hicks. I like Jordan Hicks. I shouldn't have let him go. Safety, Mr. 295 has Harrison Smith. Hunter of Champions has Marcus May. I'm going Harrison Smith all day long. And then Mr. 295 picked up Marcus Williams. He put in the biggest bid for that guy after a week 171. I think it's fool's gold. Hunter of Champions has Winfield as his flex. I'm taking his flex and Winfield. Mr. 295, with that being said, I think I'm going to go with Mr. 295. I really like his team. Yeah, I think Trey Lance has a really good game now that he's not throwing in a monsoon. And I just think Mr. 295 wins, which I think you might consider an upset, but I got Mr. 295.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick either. I mean, all of his matchups are looking good, especially with Najee Harris on the edge. And Marcus May is questionable as well. I am liking 295's team. It's looking pretty good, especially with this new waiver wire ad for Marcus Williams that he just got. Yeah, man, like you said, Trey Lance is going to have a bounce back. I'll take 295 in this one as well. Even though Hunter Champions put up some big numbers last week, which he may produce again, there are some question marks in a couple places in his lineup. We don't know if they can produce it like they did before. So let's take 295 in this one and keep rolling.
All right, I got Give Me More now versus Shuttlecocks. Who did Shuttlecocks pick up? He hasn't picked up a quarterback. Okay. He's probably going to pick up Carson Wentz. Okay, he doesn't have a quarterback.
I would say
right now.
he would have to. Yeah, he doesn't have a quarterback on his roster. So Shuttlecocks, if you're listening, grab a quarterback or you will not have a valid roster for this week.
Okay. Give Me More has Kyler Murray. Let's see. Running back, we got Leonard Fournette, who's questionable, limited with hamstring injury. He'll probably go, but I like DeAndre Swift. He had 47. He had 15 rush attempts, and he also had a couple targets in the reception game. So I'm going to lean DeAndre Swift. Travis Kelce versus Justin Jefferson.
Is that even a question?
Dude, Travis Kelce had 45, so he's not a scrub.
Yeah, I'm not saying he is, but it's
Monday
Justin
night,
Jefferson.
Monday night under the lights. I'm going Justin Jefferson. At defensive line, I'm going Cameron Hayward for Shuttlecocks. He's the guy. He's going to average. He's going to get you 28 every single week. Linebacker. Yeah. Linebacker Aluakon for Give Me More. Shuttlecocks has T.J. Edwards. I'm going Aluakon. I like that matchup with Indianapolis. He'll probably have Jonathan Taylor run him over a few times, but that counts as tackles in fantasy. Give Me More at safety has Chuck Clark. Picked him up off of waivers. I put a bid in for him. Didn't win. Versus Jalen Thompson. I'm going to lean Jalen Thompson. And then at flex, we have Tracy Walker versus Taylor Rapp.
Tracy Walker had a huge week last week.
Yeah, I like Tracy Walker, especially against Washington. Carson Wentz is known to throw the ball to the other team. I'm going to go Give Me More. Baby. I'm going Give Me More just because I don't know who Shuttlecocks is going to have on their roster on tomorrow. So
it's a very good point. Yeah, I think I got to win Give Me More as well. Jameson's team's looking solid, and with Dak being out, even though his team is pretty solid, I don't know what Shuttlecocks is going to do. I mean, if he gets Carson Wentz, maybe he has a chance. If he doesn't, he doesn't have a chance. Yep. So,
all right. Last matchup, we got Cody Steel Curtain versus Will Once a Janitor. Steel Curtain's got Aaron Rodgers, and as we know, he owns the Bears. He actually is a part owner, according to him. So Aaron Rodgers has a huge bounce back week. He figures out a way to get these receivers to catch the damn ball. I'm going Aaron Rodgers over Ryan Tannehill. Steel Curtain at running back has Travis Etienne. I was wrong about him. Thought he'd have a big week one. He's going up against Indianapolis. And then Once a Janitor has Cordero Patterson. I'm going to go Cordero Patterson. He seems to be the guy that he just fits really well. I think he fits better into the Falcons offense now with Marcus Mariota than he did with Matt Ryan. I think they can do more with him. They're leaning on him. I'm going Cordero Patterson in that matchup. Wide receiver, Steel Curtain's got Michael Thomas. He's Michael Thomas. Jameis Winston, I know people are saying Jarvis Landry is his favorite target, but he's going to throw the ball to Michael Thomas because he's Michael Thomas. Once a Janitor's got Hunter Renfrow. I'm going to lean Michael Thomas. Steel Curtain's got Von Miller. Austin Johnson for Once a Janitor. I'm going to lean Von Miller in this matchup. I think he can get to Tannehill, not a very mobile quarterback. Similar quarterback as Matthew Stafford, so I think he gets to him. Von Miller's been hot recently, going back to
Yes,
last
he
year.
has. Good God, he was exploding in week 1.
Yep. At linebacker, Steel Curtains got Damian Wilson for Carolina versus Aziz Al-Shair for Once a Janitor. I don't love either of these linebackers. I'm going to lean Damian Wilson just because he's going up against the Giants. He'll run into Saquon a few times. Actually, Damian Wilson technically maybe is flex, but either way. And then at safety, Steel Curtain has Terrell Edmonds for Pittsburgh versus Desmond King, quarterback Houston. I'm going Terrell Edmonds because he's a safety. And then at flex, we'll say Steel Curtain has Roquan Smith versus Anthony Brown or Desmond King, either one. I'm going Roquan Smith all day. Every day I have Steel Curtain by 30.
Yeah. Dude is solid. It's really solid. Once a Janitor did pretty good last week. He ended up winning his game, I think. Was it? Yeah. Yeah, he won his game last week, didn't he? Once a Janitor? I'm pretty sure he did. Anyways.
No, he lost.
Oh, he lost.
Yep.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. I'm incorrect. But, yeah, I'm taking Steel Curtain in this one. Long story short, I mean, Aaron Rodgers has to have a better week than he did last week, right? He doesn't do the same thing twice. It's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
So who are you going with?
I'm taking Steel Curtain in this one. I mean, we can't fool ourselves. He's obviously got the better team. All right. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No. Good podcast. I'm looking forward to week 2 games. If anybody wants to be a guest next week, please message Billy or I, and we can get you on. We want to have some guests on. So, anyway, y'all have a good night. Peace out. Billy, I hope we both win this weekend, buddy.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you later.